Welcome to the Kahler Podcast, episode 20. This time, we've got half of Six Gun Guitar. Daniel's going to be back in here talking about the Las Vegas trade show. And we also have Scotty Snyder from Great White. That's coming up here pretty soon. But first, viewer comments. How you doing, Gary?
Hey, how are you, Eddie?
I'm doing good. Butch Lars says, wow, since when is electrical not shop class? I'm sure you misspoke by accident. Followed by Pulverizer A, who says, at 1 minute, 9 seconds. Wait a minute. Not everybody can be a doctor. B, the B is for bargain. An attorney and electrician. I'm no expert on the matter, but I think electricians work in the construction industry and with hand and power tools quite often. I don't think that trade is being the same in the same vein as the other two professions mentioned. God bless you. Okay, so just right off the bat, electrician, yeah, blue collar, but you got to go to trade school for it, right, Gary?
Well, you got to go to trade school. I was speaking of my own experience from 100 years ago when I was in shop class called VOCAG, and we also had FFA. We had the REA out in the country, and we were 6 miles out of town on dirt roads, and that was a really big deal when we had electricity.
You might want to clarify what REA is for people who...
Well, it's rural electrical something.
Something that starts with an A.
I guess, yeah. Electric was a big deal because until then, either you had your own generator, which very few people did, or you used lamps and that kind of thing. So in shop class in Fairbury, Nebraska, we learned how to change fuses and breakers, and basically that's all that. I mean, you wouldn't learn how to install a panel or nothing because it is a licensed deal, and you've got to know something. Particularly, like when you run a machine shop, you got everything from 110 to 212 to 480, and boy, I don't even touch that. I'll have an electrician come any day to do that one.
Yeah. Now, when I went to shop class, not quite 100 years ago, in the mid 80s, it was metal shop, wood shop, FFA. We really didn't consider that to be part of shop class, but it was sort of in the same vein. And for a very, very small time, I think maybe 1 or 2 years that I was in high school, they brought back small gas engines. But they never showed us anything about electricity, nothing. So I actually learned a lot more about electricity than I ever knew before when we were putting in these rooms, because that was when I learned about just making sure that you've got the right amount of amps and all this other stuff. How now I knew this from doing welding and things like that, but you need heavier leads for more amps, and the longer you run it,
and it all has to be to spec by county, city, whatever, and then it comes in and it's inspected. And if it isn't correct, you get to tear it all out.
Yeah, well, and that's because if you do it wrong, you can start a pretty devastating fire that's out of control, lightning fast. Any kind of electrician training, that was never covered in any shop class I ever had.
And in VOCAG, we didn't talk anything about being a doctor or an attorney either. But in any case, I guess some folks went on to do that. But all these licensed industries are very important.
An electrician, not quite the same thing as a doctor or a lawyer. You don't need to go to graduate school for that, but you do need some sort of training outside of high school that does not fall under shop class. Alfred Gilkin says, I own an Epiphone G1275 double neck. I would like to put a Kahler on the 6-string neck. Is the 2300 Professional the best for this application? Gary?
A 2300 will work. And you have an option. Go to our website there, and Kahler USA, and you'll see that you have an option of steel, brass, or composite rollers.
Yep.
Witness points, as well as what kind of cam you like. So the most popular from the very beginning has been the 2320, which is a brass cam and brass rollers.
Yeah.
But then we also have the straight 2300, which is all steel. And then the other ones, you'll see them there. So, yep, they'll work. And now you're the luthier, so tell them a little more about that.
The double neck in question that Alfred is talking about is the Epiphone version of the double neck that Jimmy Page made so famous. And it has a bridge and a tailpiece, but it's different from your typical Gibson. And as such, the 2200, which everybody thinks of as sort of the Gibson Kahler, well, that won't work. The 2200 has a slightly thicker base plate on it. The 2300, it'll be closer to the body, and that could be really, really good because on that guitar, your neck angles are fixed. You cannot shim, move the neck, whatever. But we do have stacker plates for the bridge and things like that. Now, just a real quick thing with brass versus steel versus aluminum versus Teflon glass. Teflon glass will give you a noticeably treblier sound on your in your saddles. Steel and brass, it's much more subtle. Brass accentuates the lower harmonic. Steel accentuates the upper harmonic. So, what is it that Kerry King? It's a Steel Roller's brass cam is what he likes, right?
Yeah, he likes the clearness of the witness point to be steel, and that's the Steel Roller. But he likes the brass cam. He feels he gets more sustain out of the brass cam.
Yeah. Now, what we're going to have to do, and I've got a plan for this in the future, is go through what all of them sound like in the recording studio that we are so close to being done with.
We'll get it done.
We'll get it done. But yes, that will fit, and we have stacker plates and all kinds of other stuff to make that work for you there, Alfred.
And I'd just like to add, too, we really want to get to some of the technical stuff. Now, many people watching this podcast may not be interested in the real technical stuff.
Probably not.
But you would be really surprised how many people are.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it's amazing of all the emails we get. And they really want to know this stuff. And so bear with us while we talk about the technical from time to time.
This is our first year of doing this, so there's a lot of setup and things like that. But as soon as we have everything in place, then we've got so much that we're going to do, including a great big PDF guide that I just got done writing that's going to help you guys out.
I'd like to point out, too, that's one of many reasons why you're here.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk to that end user and we want them to understand what the bridges are about. And we're trying to make the bridge, that's a play on words there, see?
Yeah.
Make the bridge from the bridge into the guitar.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, I got that.
That includes tools and knowledge, and so that's why we have a luthier here.
Yeah, absolutely. It does us absolutely no good if we sell you one bridge and you don't understand how it works and you can't make it work right. And then all you're going to do is just say, I hate this. With so many companies, when you buy the product, that's the end of the journey. With us, it's the beginning because we are here for the customer service. We really, really care. We really want you to get the most out of your bridge.
Well, we get a lot of phone calls about that as well.
Boy, do we ever. So look for that in the future. Mercutio UK 2006 says, I love listening to these podcasts. As much as the upcoming releases and the news is interesting, I'm oddly fascinated by the history of the brand and the bands that play Kahler. Yeah, what was it? I think it was episode 3, maybe. We did one called Shameless Name Dropping, and that was when we went through a bunch of old pictures and things like that. So, Mercutio UK 2006, if you joined us after that one, you can go back and check it out. And I mean, we got everybody in there. Something I didn't even realize, I saw framed picture of Sammy Hagar, and it was like, oh, wow, I never noticed. It's I think it's the VOA Voice of America album. He's landing in a jumpsuit and he's got a parachute, like he's parachuting into, to like emergency rock drop from the sky, and
got a big Kahler on that.
Big old Kahler on that. I think it's a Dean ML. I can't remember now because I'm getting old. I might be getting into stage one here, but
it's kind of from the farm in Nebraska to this man jumping out of an airplane with a Kahler on it.
There's a lot of interesting history. It was like trying to pull teeth from an alligator to get you to talk about that Frankfurt guitar show. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, it's part of the history, and I agree, it's interesting. Titler's Bicycle says Mille's family are from Italy. Yes, they are.
He made it really clear.
He did. He said that his name Mille Petrozza is. I probably said that wrong.
Hey, what a neat guy!
Oh God, he was so fun.
He is.
He was so fun, man. I tell you what, too. When he thought something was funny, he'd get this big old smile on his face, and then like about 5 seconds later, this laugh that had just light up a room.
And he's just one hell of a musician.
Oh yeah. Now,
and Patty, his tech, was with us.
Patty is just so great, and you know what? Something really cool about Patty too, because we went to the show, and then we were hanging out with Patty after the loadout and stuff like that, and. Man, that guy is really, really organized. And did you notice the little stuffed animal he had? Patty's got a kid, and he said that he takes one of his kids' stuffed animals with him whenever he goes on tour. It was just the neatest thing, He was like, "Yep, my kid's with me whenever I see this," and I was just thinking that's just awesome.
Well, I talked to him a long time on the dock.
Yeah,
while they were loading the semi. And that was real interesting. I mean, he was carrying on a full conversation with me, and he had all these, the way he had to pack up these cases perfectly, and all to be in the right case, all these little items. You just can't imagine what these people go through.
Yeah.
In the setup and tear down and pack
daily.
In and out, man.
It's you're moving your entire production like every single day to go and bring the show to the people that want to see it. And I mean, these guys work so hard.
They did a good job there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yehafri Rojas 4102. Okay, so this is in a language that I do not.
We're going to go to English.
Yeah, let's translate to English. I would like them to put subtitles since I don't speak English, but I have Kahler bridges, and I would be interested to know what the programs are about. I would like that too.
I guess we ought to look into that. I see it on regular TV all the time.
Right.
But I haven't even considered and thought about it. So I really, really thank him for bringing it up. And we don't know if we can do that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the one who edits these things. And something that makes me nervous about that is that I am not bilingual. I only speak English. And so puts up a subtitle. Subtitles can be wrong.
Well, they can be wrong, but I don't know. What can you say about that?
I don't know.
If you don't read... You don't know English, like I don't know Japanese, for goodness sakes, or French. I know enough French to know I don't know. I can read a little German, but it would be probably better than no interpretation.
Yeah, you know what? We'll look into that. Don't expect it to be quick, but thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you for playing Kahlers, man. We do appreciate that.
Absolutely. And that was the last comment. So now we are going to go to a pre-taped interview with Daniel from Six Gun, and we'll be talking more about the Las Vegas Guitar Trade Show, and Scotty Snyder from Great White. It was a great time, and it's so cool here being in Las Vegas. And, the guy brought up Mille before when we told him you're our first rock star. And he said, "What? You're in Vegas?" Well, we're just getting started. And then, Daniel, good good friend of the company, called us up and said, "Hey, can I bring in Scotty from Great White to do the play?" Oh, absolutely. So,
wow, it's really starting to grow. We're talking to a lot of people. All these people come to this town.
Yes, they do.
And that's the reason I came here in 2013. And hey, we're just now starting to get going with you here.
Yeah, it's been it's been a long road to hoe, man. But you know what? We're doing it. And the creator episode too, even both Blabbermouth and was it Ultimate Guitar?
Yep.
Both picked that podcast up and did stories based off of our interview with Mille.
That's really neat. That networking.
Yeah.
There's another word for that, though. What is that? Yeah.
The second we're done recording, I'll go like, oh, I remember that word now you're talking about. But, if you're enjoying this, share it on your social media, things like that.
Yep.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. The diehard Kahler people already know, but the rest of the world needs to know that we've got these bridges here. They actually work really, really great. 100% made in America.
Right.
Customer service is great. And we, honest to God, care. If you have a problem with your $20 double locking Amazon.com Fulcrum, you're out of luck. You're out of luck. They don't care. All you can do is return it.
All I could say is you're having some trouble and you want to have a real bridge there.
Yeah.
Give us a call and we'll make you a deal of some kind.
Gary does not do sales. We never discount, but if you're willing to do something to prove that you actually want the thing, we do premiums. We work things out. We might throw something in or something like that, but it can be a real individual kind of deal.
If you got a bridge that really isn't working for you, and you don't like it, if it's a Fulcrum, if it's a Floyd Rose drive on it, or a Fender drive. That's the spacing of the knives. Or if it's a counterfeit Kahler of some time, let us know. And we always like to look at that stuff, and we'll actually do a trade out with you, and it'll be worth money to you.
And that sounds like a good time for us to segue right into Daniel and Scotty. So here we go.
Sounds good.
Today, we have Scotty. Snyder, do you prefer Scott or Scotty?
Scotty. Either one, actually. I'm good with either one.
Okay, well, I see after the last time that Daniel was here.
You called me Skirty?
You called me Squatty Potty?
Squatty. Scotty, what do you do today?
Snyder, yes.
Scotty doesn't know. So anyway.
Now he does.
Yeah, I've always been introduced to your wife, and Gary's always referred to her as Alicia, so boy, did I get schooled immediately.
Alicia,
yeah, so let her know it's like Alicia. In fact, behind that just beautiful smile that could light up a room is something like dark and terrifying.
You see that?
Well, I just, here's the thing. It's just like, she kind of like, like a pretty Darth Vader. It's like, do not test me.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, and she's at home right now, working on the Las Vegas Guitar Trade Show, right?
Which is coming right up. I mean, we're very excited. November 8th, 9th, and 10th, and those dates are just coming right up on us. So we're excited about the Las Vegas Guitar Trade Show. I mean, the first of its kind, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are really looking forward to it.
Well, we are looking for it. We're going to be there with guitars and parts and everything else that people can see. And
how many guitars are you bringing? Do you even know? Or?
I don't know. That's up to him about guitars.
I want to say 21.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like a lot, but the truth is that we have so many different things to offer.
Yes.
That in order to do it justice, we've got to try to represent something from everything. And even at 21, that's not enough.
That's not enough.
Well, I think there's going to be quite a few end users and musicians show up, and they want to see this. They want to see the parts on guitars.
Yeah, we want to be able to sit down and play and see what the deal is.
Well, it's damn hard to just play the part.
Well, yeah, and I mean, what's a bass with a whammy bar?
Right.
What's it act like?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tried using one of the longer bars that Gary makes? I mean, everybody knows about a 6-inch, but he makes a 7, a 9, and a 12. If you're the 12 is intimidating.
Of course he does. Gary has some long bars.
That's right.
Now the 12s are only for special people.
That's right.
It's good for me because they call me Special Ed.
You really got to want the 12.
It can be intimidating and painful, but worth it.
You do realize how off the rails this could go. Really.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm thinking
moment.
pure thoughts.
Yes.
This is the Lord's Day, you know.
Well, we are bringing some interesting pieces to the guitar trade show, and that's the thing is a lot of people who have not been, especially in this town, to the guitar trade show. I mean, you get to pick up the axes, try them out, plug them in, like really, play them.
Yeah.
And the selection is just going to be, off the hook, outstanding. So whether you're there to buy, trade, sell, just investigate and look at this, it's going to be like a guitar museum.
And something you don't normally get to do is buy it right there.
Exactly.
You don't have to sit there and wait on an order because I need 10 of no on this guitar. Can I take it home today? Yeah, it's correct. Now, out the door you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is very rare.
Yes.
In trade shows.
Yeah. So it's going to be really a first of its kind event here in Las Vegas, the trade show capital.
You can sign up for the guitar that we're giving away.
There's actually going to be a few guitar giveaways. What are you guys giving away?
We are going to give away an American Strat with a Kahler 2300 Seymour Duncan coil tappable single coil pickups with a mini toggle switch to where you can either have vintage or modern output. And that, as if that's not enough, it's got not a 5-way, but the 10-way freeway switch. So 20 different tones. Oh, and it's got the pepper tip on it too. For anybody who thinks you can't make a Kahler-Cambridge flutter, I got news for you. Yeah, you can.
Nice. The pepper tip is like the little curved one.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's I'm sure you can. You'll take one look at it and figure out a way to make it dirty.
Wow. So yeah, I could. So Gary has spared no expense with this guitar.
We spared no expense on that pepper tip. You can adjust it 360 degrees.
Yeah,
and it's about a half an inch in and out, so you can get any. You want the little hook on it, or you want to slide off of it. Either way you want to do it.
Okay, yeah, you can turn it and go the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other way.
Is that available for like any of the?
Yeah,
games? You could put that on any.
You could put it on any of our standard bars. Now the thicker ones, like the for our fulcrums, or for the heavy bar that can go into the cam stuff, it won't fit on there, but it will go on any of the standard Kahler arms. And the way that I like it actually is with the tip pointing up. I can see you sweating over there. You're just like, oh, I just want to say something terrible.
So much. There's so much I could go with.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you just run your pinky, you got your pick in this hand, you run your pinky across it, catch the tip.
Yes.
And then let it go, and that is just a quick way for it to flutter. Really cool.
It'll do a flutter.
Right. That's right.
Picking and simultaneously whammying.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually making music.
And actually making music.
And that's where this man comes in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Scotty.
Little Brad Gillis working.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get you using a trem at some point.
I would love to do a trem on one of my basses for sure. Yes.
Scotty's
I'm very experimental. I'm like him, more little jazz fusion. And
How are you digging your new bass? You're playing a new bass.
I'm playing the most beautiful bass that I've ever played. I've been playing for 50 years, and I've had a lot of basses, but these Valkenbergs play flawlessly. They do. And to be able to have them adjusted, any adjustments I need, I just go to him. But they're for the money and for the tone and for the options, you can't go wrong. It's a great instrument. He does a great job over there.
It's seeing some road use now too. Right?
Yeah, well, you know me, we do a lot of shows, and it's TSA and these baggage handlers. They don't know. They open the case and they move the bass. Always have to look behind it, and they set it in kind of half tweaked.
Yes.
Then they slam the case down. And you come back and the neck's off, and you're like, well, what's going on? Well, the tuning peg's sticking out the side.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason. You guys didn't put it in place. So it's about being careful, packing it yourself. So it's got to be bullet,
There's only one problem that I have with your bass, and it's a really big one. You guys didn't bring it.
Yeah, it's sick. No, he's actually doing. It's on the table right now. He's doing some adjustment on it right now. We probably should have.
I got a table. You could have done it here.
We could have done it right here. We'll bring it next
That
time.
means we're coming back. That's what that means.
Well, there's an
there you
answer
go.
for that, though. He doesn't know you yet.
That is true.
He's
Let's
afraid
do
if he
this,
brings
yeah.
it into this room,
Why
it
the
might not go back.
It might not leave. Yeah, this is like kind of the parallel universe where all of the missing socks go.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
this is
There
where
they
all the
are.
missing guitars go.
Right.
Guitars come in, but they don't always leave. You guys have still dates with Great White left this year? Or?
Yeah, we got a good 4. In fact, I got one next weekend. We do a lot of shows with Slaughter, in fact, are kind of
Okay.
our partners, and
Yeah.
about 4 or 5, 6 shows left for the rest of the year. A lot of it back east, but it's been a good year. We got that new singer, Brett Carlisle, 27 years old, and he's keeping us young.
Yep.
But
There
he's
you
just
go.
tearing it up. We're able to do the old songs again, and
That's
And
great.
we
How
sound like-
long have you been with the Great
about
White?
16 years now.
It was like,
that's
what,
I thought.
2008, right?
Yeah, exactly. 2008.
Yeah.
Yes,
When you're not in Great White, you've got a tattoo and a piercing parlor.
I used
right?
to. I had that in
Used to.
California. Yeah, I sold that because I got a little too busy. When you're going to a tattoo shop, it's best to be there.
Right.
These guys, love tattoo artists, and I'm one myself. But when you're not there, they're doing what they can to pocket money.
Yes.
Right.
So you got to be watching all
When
the
the
time.
cat's away.
and the mice did play, and I just said, I'm done with this. If it's either the road or the
Yeah.
shop, and I sold the shop, and I did well with
Oh.
that. Luckily, that helped. That,
Well,
I can really understand what you're saying.
yeah,
That's
employees.
why I'm 86 and I'm still living.
You're your best
I have
employee.
to look after the
Yes.
shop here.
Right.
That's right. Well, all I can tell you is, I mean, you've got some pretty nice ink, but I have the greatest tattoo ever.
Mhm.
Right here.
I
Uh,
love it.
This right here, now we're not going to get
You
into
did it
it.
yourself, didn't you?
No, I had a friend do it,
Mhm.
but I'm going to tell you, like, it's too long of a story.
It is.
So, Gary's
It
like,
definitely is.
Gary's
too
like,
long
is
of a
this a
story."
long story? But they're all long with me. So I won't tell you the story, but you know how they do, like, sometimes they'll be like, and the moral of the story is,
Mhm.
so this tattoo, the story of the tattoo has 2 morals to it. So I'll just tell you the morals of the story. The first one is, do not get a tattoo when you're in the 6th grade. Too young.
Ah.
Too young.
Very good.
Too young.
Good
And
advice.
yeah, the second moral of the story is, if you absolutely must get a tattoo in the 6th grade, make sure that the guy who gives it to you did not shoot his own eye out with a bow and arrow in the 5th grade, because he might need that second eye. If nothing else, make sure your tattoo artist either has both eyes or knows what he's doing.
I got a one-eyed 6-year-old
I
tattoo
thought,
artist. He's
And
awesome.
he's still a friend of yours, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's dead now.
Well, he got the other eye
Well,
with the
he's
other
still a
arrow.
friend.
There you go. The other eye was waiting for him. So,
I
Well-
thought that was a scar.
Yeah.
well,
Who's your
it
tattoo
is.
artist? Well, he's a 6-year-old tattoo's got an arrow in his eye, but he's a great tattoo artist.
He's a great
Very
tattoo
good.
And he always gives me his milk and lunch.
I am looking to do another tattoo.
Mhm.
I'm a retired commercial deep sea diver, and I want a
I noticed
tattoo on
that.
my helmet.
Dude, I got you. I just got a new machine. I'm getting back into it. Ever since back surgery, that's why I stopped for a while. But I do
Nice.
realism.
Yeah,
I love stuff like this because I like to antique my tattoos.
Yeah.
So they look like that, but I brown them out and get some
Oh, that
highlights on
thing
them.
is
I do
badass.
the
So that's what you
chrome.
actually wore?
Oh yeah, that is
These
my
are
that
weighty,
is my
too. These are
helmet.
heavy, man.
Oh yeah, that thing is.
That's so cool.
Well, after we're done with this, if you want, you can put it on your head. Well,
won't come off.
probably you
It would look
should.
cool on stage, though. I mean, I can.
Once bitten, twice sick. Time for it.
Yeah, well, you might notice the little posts there,
Yes.
like for banana plug. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
actually got a microphone and speakers
Oh,
in it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's something. In fact, today we have a special underwater motif going
Nice.
on for
Oh, sure. Looks like our backdrop.
that's
Yes.
right. Hey, I saved all my love for you.
Oh,
I just realized that. It looks like we're underwater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I got to tell you too, I have decompressed in schools of over 100 sharks, and they're not nearly as scary as the barracudas. Those things are spookier than sharks. Back to guitars. Shit. What should we talk about now?
Well, hopefully I can bring that guitar in here one day. For our next visit, I'm going to make that my point to bring you that.
Oh,
The
definitely.
once bitten. As
No,
it's called.
and the
Yeah.
the The Rhoads.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
'Cause I know Sean, he's a Kahler
Yeah.
fanatic.
Yeah, so if people don't know, we are, like I said, there's going to be a lot of giveaways at the show.
Right.
There's clinics, there's concerts, there's all kinds of stuff happening at this guitar show.
Yes.
But I know that the Rock Gods Hall of Fame is
Mhm.
inducting Kelly Garney from Quiet Riot
Right.
and also Randy Rhoads. So,
Posthumously.
yes, posthumously. So they're bringing in an award for Randy, and I think the Rock Gods band's going to play a couple of songs. But
Yeah.
more importantly, they're also giving away a very cool polka dot V Randy Rhoads guitar.
With the harpoon headstock and all
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think that's the Sandoval, right? The
Yeah.
Sandoval, right?
Yeah, so they're giving away, obviously a clone of that guitar, which
Right.
is super cool. Six Gun is also giving a guitar or bass away. I'm not sure what they're doing.
It was a Paul Reed Smith, right? PRS?
Maybe.
Or some.
Yep, could
I
be.
want to say that Alicia
Yes,
said that I want to say when she was here, she said it was a PRS.
Okay.
So yeah.
There's going to be some really great, guitar giveaways. I know they're raffling guitars off. I know that there is a sponsored George Else Cables is sponsoring.
Oh, George Else, those things are great.
Sponsoring the best under 18 guitar, stringed instrument competition, quote
Right.
unquote. And they're doing it for girls, they're doing it for boys,
Mm.
and they've got all these great prize packages that George Else, put together.
I need some George Else. Do you think I could pass for 17?
I think no, maybe if you're wearing that helmet.
There you go. I'll do it like the Masked Singer.
Yes,
You know?
Just come on with the helmet and just be like, "Hey, I'm 16."
I'll walk in. I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm just 16. I'm all the little."
Here's my sixth grade tattoo to
Yeah,
prove
here's
it.
look
Yeah,
at my little
exactly.
tattoo, yeah.
Gotta have the 6th grade tattoo.
So
He's
but
in.
we're excited about a lot of the companies that are going to be there. I mean, having Kahler there, it's just great because Gary. I mean, he's been doing guitar shows since like the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's around 1700.
1700. Is that what it is?
1700.
That's
Yeah.
what makes him so
Right.
great.
When they invented the stringed instrument.
Well,
We've just gotten rid of the clubs
have,
and
have you
things
done
and
a,
the
have you
caves.
done a tremolo for the lute yet?
yeah, exactly. Well, what he was saying to me was that it was a breakthrough when they actually invented the rubber tire,
Yes.
because those wagon wheels, they kept on breaking,
They
so
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta get your tremolos to market.
those two guitars up there, the Telly and the Strat, flanking that black Strat, which shameless plug, is going to be the Judas Priest Glenn Tipton tribute guitar that we are making in cooperation with DiMarzio, Fender, and Judas Priest.
So the black one you're gonna hot rod out.
The black one is going to be a clone of Glenn Tipton's 78 Black Strat, and it's getting auctioned off. And all proceeds are going to Glenn Tipton's Parkinson's Foundation because he's retired because he's got Parkinson's.
When are you launching that? When's that going up for auction?
We are going to find out when Judas Priest comes here. And
That's very soon, right? That's,
very soon,
Yes.
like 2 weeks.
oh.
So
Yeah.
you can see that not a thing's been done. The plastic is still over the pit guard.
Yes.
I've got a lot of work to do on that thing. So
Gonna give it away after midnight.
we're gonna auction it after because we
midnight.
gotta. Yes, auctioning after
Yeah,
midnight.
Living after midnight.
Yep.
Yes, don't ever try to make me look bad, or you got another thing coming.
Right.
Oh.
There we go.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
He's been waiting to use that line a long time.
Absolutely. Love bites. I don't know. I got nothing.
Are you going to have that at the guitar show? Will it be done by then?
I think that is either going to go with Judas Priest or it's going to go to somebody to be announced who is in Canada. That's your clue. He is in Canada and he says a word that Gary makes me bleep out. It's going to go either one of those two places.
But he has over 600,000 followers.
Almost. When he
Almost?
hits 600,000, he's going to give away his Rev amp head.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's another clue.
Nice.
But I'm not going to say who it is. Now, the minute that he says that he's involved, then I won't shut up about it.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is that the Strat and the Telly that are flanking it actually have pre-Kahler bridges on them. These are from the Brass Factory that Gary made for Fender back in the 70s.
Okay.
And we will have those. new old stock from the 70s,
Nice.
made in a way that the EPA says you can't do anymore because it will give you cancer if you live in California. If you live anywhere but California, you're fine.
You're
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Yeah.
just-
But if you're in California,
Thank you,
it'll give you cancer. So
That's why I got the hell out of California.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. So these will definitely be there.
those
and on
will be
display.
there, yes.
Okay.
In
Awesome.
fact, I think that probably the Strat bridge will come off of that guitar
Yeah.
and go on something a little more unique. Probably the, let's see, is it, this blue thing behind me.
Yep.
That is the weirdest guitar ever. I call it the hippie burnout. I put a P90 in the neck, a lipstick in the middle, and an old Alnico 2 humbucker in the bridge. Reshape the neck to where it's like the hardest V you could cut things with that V. It's
Yes,
so hard. I even pulled the 22nd fret and reshaped it just to make it look vintage. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
I think it's wonderful that we can talk about vintage stuff and yesterday in the 1700s, but in today's living, we actually got to pay bills.
That's right. In
And that
today's modern
means we
society,
better have something that's current that we sell that people really like. And we haven't even talked about that yet.
You have new stuff, right?
But
You're
we
bringing in the
do,
show?
and
we
just visit our website. You'd see that, and don't cut that out. All right, because something has to keep this stuff going, and that's what that's about.
that is very true. Shameless plug right here, right now. If you like what you see, please buy a Kahler bridge because it pays to keep the lights on and keep us in business and all that wonderful stuff.
Well, we aren't that far down the tube yet.
Yeah.
But in any case, just keep buying our shit. That's all I got to say.
Hey, a sale's a sale, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Money's money, and that's what has to happen.
We've got a brand new redesigned bass whammy bar
Nice.
right now.
Oh,
that-
we're using that.
Yes,
That's the one
you
we're
are.
using.
That's
That-
the one
yes.
you're buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one that
Great.
has a clutch. It can be locked off to be fixed or floating.
Yeah.
It can be forward or rearward. How many times did somebody buy a bass whammy from you and then send it back because it didn't fit? They needed a forward instead of a
Well,
rearward.
particularly we sell, worldwide, and so people would buy that brace, and we'd have both the forward saddles and rearward. The reason is because if you have a precision,
Mhm.
that saddle has to be rearward because it'll go off the back of
Right.
it. Now this goes either way, so we don't have to worry about them buying the wrong one.
That's right.
Sure.
But there's something else very important about that bridge that you didn't mention.
Okay, let's see. It has a clutch. It can be fixed or floating. It can be forward or rearward.
Yeah, I think I better help you out.
Help me out.
Yeah, it's string adjustable on spacing.
Oh well,
That's right.
they all are.
Well, you didn't say so. And they come in 5 all the way up to an 8-string bass. But in any case, not only that, but I'm using your word, not only that.
Not only that, he hates it when I say
Yeah.
that.
Damn, I get tired of hearing that. Anyway, the fact is that the hooks are adjustable on the back, which is very important to keep that string straight from where the ball hooks in
Mhm.
all the way across to wherever you adjusted the saddle,
Right.
all the way to the nut, because a little crawl on that string up the side of the roller
Yeah.
does make a difference. And when it's right in line, it's a wonderful piece.
Well, with the trem works smoother and better, and there's
Yep.
no tension on the string.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
sure.
And that's the one thing I love. That 4-string is also, I can get 5 saddles on it. I
You
can change
can.
a 4-string to a 5-string trem, which
Yep.
is
Mhm.
unbelievable because you can just space it out however you want. And
Yeah.
on the 4-string, we're using them for, I think, 3 different models of bass now, simply because of that adjustability on the
Yep.
width.
Yep.
So since I can go as wide as I want to the outside of the fretboard or as in as
Yeah.
I want, I can also now tailor it to the player. So it's
Sure.
very specific, because some, people say with a smaller hand or a different style of playing want the strings closer together.
Oh yeah.
And I'll notice that people will say, "Oh, I love the bridge, but the string spacing's too wide." And I'll say, "Give it back
Yeah.
to me, no problem. We can
Yep.
now
Yeah.
squash it down." And what Gary's talking about is where the string loads in and hooks in on the back of the trim.
Mhm.
That piece can now be adjusted to be in line with the front roller, which
Absolutely.
is impossible to do on
Sure.
other trims. So
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Thank you.
So that adjustability allows it that when you bend the trim, the string
Keeps it in
stays
line.
perfectly in line.
Yep.
And the tuning and return, more importantly,
is back to the
is
right
back.
right pitch.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the string bends a little, like on some trims, that's not.
You're
really,
going to get some it's going to change the tuning a bit.
You're stretching the string every time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've done things with a Kahler trim that I just can't do with any other kind of.
There's many people that say that that part that that holds the ball end of the bass saddle, the original ones that I think it was Victor Wooten was who you first were kind of making that.
Well, that was in the 1700s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back when.
We had slots.
You had
All we had was a
slots.
slot.
But
unadjustable slot. I don't know. Can you adjust the slot?
I could adjust the Kahler bass trim before that because you made that innovation before, but it is still there on the new one.
Yeah.
Which is
that's a hybrid bass.
In addition to that, I mean, we're going to have. If you want a floating 10-string multi-scale whammy bar, we make that.
Yes.
Yeah, we make that.
In fact, I just finished a custom one.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy, he was like, I want my multi-scale to be even more extreme than anybody has ever made it. Yeah. So even a crazier angle. What do you say? And sure.
Well, it was almost a, you're going to kick out of this. It's almost a 2-inch difference between the smallest string and the largest strings. Wow. That's how outrageous that percentage was on the multi.
You guys do that as a one-off? One-off,
yeah.
Build a special for them.
Yeah.
And anyway, we'll have to show it sometime.
And as you know, if you only make one, it's really expensive to do.
Sure. It's worth millions.
So I made two.
Right.
Yeah. So it only cost half as much, right?
There you go.
Well, now you've got one to show people too. So
yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
The thing that I'm really excited about showing people too is the new our new fulcrums, the Steelers, which were around back in the late 80s, early 90s. And we've got a couple new old stock Spiders left too, and some new old stock Flyers as well.
Is the Steeler the new one that I saw on the Nuno guitar? Doesn't Nuno have
Nuno likes the original Steeler from way back in the day, and we also make the Steeler Traditional, which is identical, except it's got a better, instead of having those little blocks that fall out and
you flip it over,
lose. Yeah, they've got great big ones with your thumb and a guide in them to put the string perfectly in the center.
But he is using a Kahler on.
He is.
Those.
Oh yes.
Okay.
But then the new Steeler Professional, you don't cut the ball end off. You run it through a what is it? It's a Mille. A Mille saddle.
Well, it's a Mille-made part. It's a Mille-made a new system. Well, it was new 20 years ago, but nobody used it.
Right.
What it was made for was to make braces on your teeth.
Really?
And things like that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a flow steel metal. They now can make a die and put real steel in it rather than only zinc, and that's called Mille.
Well, we're going to be working on a bridge for Scotty's new bass, the Once Bitten, and then we're hopefully going to do a version of it at some point with a tremolo.
I think that'd be great, especially with the heavier wood. Maybe
probably
best.
Yeah, I'll give you some heavier wood.
I know you will, but that's beside the.
I'm so glad that nobody missed that one.
Right? Yeah, because you were thinking it.
Bleep.
I was in there, save all your wood for me.
Oh, there's going to be some Great White references.
Sure, there is.
You know what's really wild? I used to play in this the house band cover band. The Top 40 Hell. Yeah, every single bar band song ever, right? Except we played one Great White song, and
obscure one or.
It was an obscure one. It was The Big Goodbye.
We still do that.
And I love
that song.
I
have to sing that high note.
This is a great song, but these people are here to get drunk and see a band play what they hear on the radio.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't we do Rock Me? Well, I know why we're not going to do Once Bitten, Twice Shy. We don't have a piano player.
Right.
But why don't we do, there's a lot to choose from with Great White.
Yeah, but it's a great song.
It's a great song, and that was the argument too. It's a great song. It's our duty to teach these people this great song.
It's an argument you'll never win, man. You got to just play the radio.
Yes.
again.
That's
Yes.
that.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear the new stuff.
No,
What's that? We're here
Oh
for
my God.
we're here for a reason.
we're here. Yeah, we're here
For the
for.
stuff that made us come here. It was
Yeah.
the early stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's why every
I
time.
mean, Tesla learned that lesson. I think they did a tour, their whole new album, and it just went, ooh, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Well, that was the crazy thing you were mentioning. Nuna, we went and we saw them, and everybody was just digging it. And then their great, big, amazing new song, Rise.
Yeah.
They saved it for the encore,
Yeah.
and it did not get the reaction that
Yeah,
it should have.
doesn't-
Encore
It
should be your
just never
best.
gained the traction that the early stuff.
Yeah.
that they're waiting for those.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see we were just when I was in New Hampshire with you guys
Mhm.
with Great White. That was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there's songs that the crowd knew
yeah,
and songs the crowd was familiar with, but then there were the hits, like the
Yeah.
songs they just
Yeah,
knew.
sure. As soon as they start, you can see.
Oh no,
it.
they all stand up. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they go nuts.
that's why Lita Ford always ends with "Kiss Me Deadly,"
Yes,
and
yeah.
the crowd goes
Goes-
insane.
the crowd
every
goes
time.
wild.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
us. We end with Once Bitten since I've been in the
Yes.
band every
Yeah.
single time, and I'm like, here
Yeah.
we go. Like, look at the fans. Okay,
But
look
it's-
at
but
them.
it's-
Look at them.
But it's them singing
Yeah.
every
Yes.
single word.
They love it. They love it, and it
Yeah.
is fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's like-
You go by the crowd's reaction. That brings you all back. It's like this is why we do it. You see their faces and they're lit up. That's why you do it. It is. As soon as the song starts, they're just like, yeah, here we go again. But they're on their feet again.
at the lower level, at the top 40
Mhm.
B bar circuit, like my biggest claim to fame, you're not a musician. You're an alcohol salesman. That's what you are.
Right.
Now, when you're playing these clubs, you were playing bass.
I was playing drums, actually.
Oh, wow.
Drums. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was playing drums, and I remember there was the very first song, it's like, okay, you're a good drummer, you'll be fine. Okay, just come on out, no rehearsal, no nothing. Our drummer just quit. Here's the set list. And I was like, this is before the internet, before anything. And I was like, what is Midnight Blue? And they were like, 16th notes on the hi-hat, you'll be fine. And I was like, I've never heard the song. Who sings it? I forget. Gigs in 2 hours. So it's like, does anybody know who sings Midnight Blue? And
Yes.
but they were right. I just got up there and
Yeah.
And-
This is before cell phones and internet. and
way
able to just
before.
check out all the songs on your
Yeah.
phone in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think
Who's
maybe
got a turntable.
maybe you could have a bag phone. I mean, maybe.
All of that was also during a time that I was playing trumpet on a major band,
Yeah.
Wow.
not a guitar.
Mhm.
So I wish I could join in that conversation with
So
you.
you were full of hot air, is what
I
you're
was
saying?
full of hot air.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just trying to hit the high notes and read the charts.
That's a tough instrument
so
there. Wow.
Very
so
good.
that's I
That's
come from
great.
a little different era,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but certainly experienced it from a commercial point of view. Everything you're talking
Mhm.
about.
Yeah.
I really want to hear Gary play a trumpet. I asked him if he's got one. He's like, no, I don't still have a trumpet. And I was
Go
like,
ahead and tell him what I did with it.
you know what?
He
you
doesn't
blew in-
remember.
Why don't you tell him?
He
No,
blew
he
into
doesn't
it.
remember the important stuff.
Shut up.
Oh, well,
I was
As
trying to
a-
look really cool and go like, oh, come on, you tell that
don't
story.
cut
Yeah,
this out.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the truth of the matter is that once you lose your chops because you're not playing all the time,
Right.
like a trumpet player,
Yeah.
I got so pissed that I just couldn't do what I wanted to. So I was in Omaha, went to the Missouri River Bridge and threw my damn trumpet in the Missouri River. I said, I'm not going to play that song again.
See, but now I'm going to go take my deep sea diving helmet and go find it.
I mean, if I had known this, I would have been calling you like Strong Lips Gary from
That's
the
Yeah.
there you
Or
go.
he would have said, "Oh, you're not so horny anymore,
Yeah,
are you?"
yeah.
Oh my God, that was
Damn.
talk about the low hanging fruit.
Okay, now I'm just wondering if Eddie like edits all this stuff out all the time because you keep like, don't
No,
cut that out.
well,
he
he
puts
does.
echoes on it and little noises.
Well, no, but he'll sit
He
there.
does. He always makes sure his stuff's on
Is
there.
in, yeah, and he's
Yeah.
editing you out.
But
Yeah.
he answers me on.
Anything that makes
and I
me look
actually
good.
pay him to do that.
Yes,
Can you
yeah,
imagine that
I
shit?
can.
Well, actually, the funny thing is that he'll sit there and he'll go like, You edited out the part where, and it's like, no, you don't remember. You said that later. I didn't edit it out. It's like coming.
That was a different episode altogether.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's
You
making
never
that
said
up.
that. It's like, no.
I can see you guys have a good time here, though.
No, it's actually
Yes.
it's really fun. We and we get along just great.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you know, it's
Thank you.
I would just be in this room all day, right, Scott?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Lots of coffee and just keep going.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
we just keep going.
the coffee thing is like, you know, he likes his Nebraska farmer coffee, but I was born and spent the first 28 years of my life in Seattle, so I am the biggest coffee snob. I've got like a Dr. Frankenstein coffee setup, basically.
And I don't really give a shit.
No, he
Because
doesn't
you want
care
that
at all.
coffee that way, you take your time and do it.
I think he's bringing it to the trade
What
show.
I do
What's
is
Nebraska coffee?
Yeah,
What are we
well,
talking about?
You know what Nebraska coffee is? Buy the cheapest bean coffee you can at Costco.
Yes.
Put it in a grinder,
Yes.
and I never measure it. Maybe 2 cups, and dump it in that damn thing. Add a little hot water and turn the switch on. That's my coffee.
That's a
See, I don't have all the historic BS.
Well, see, in the
Because you see, I was from Seattle also. I lived on Vashon Island. So I know
Wow.
all about Seattle.
yes.
But I got the hell out of there
yeah,
100 years ago.
the interesting thing is, I found out probably, I don't know, second or third conversation I ever had with Gary. For whatever reason, this sort of once huge and then kind of had its heyday guitar store in Seattle. For whatever reason, I brought it up, and he was like, "I used to own that store." And shut up.
Of course he did. Yeah,
For real?
Yeah, of
No,
course
I
he
really
did.
did.
He really did. Yeah, American music in Seattle, and they were the biggest thing in the world until Musicians Friends started doing retail stores, and then they put one right next to American Music, and then Guitar Center bought them and changed it to
Yeah,
Guitar
there
Center,
you
and then American Music was just like,
But,
okay,
the
on
people
that
that
business sale.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the people I sold it to actually expanded, I think, into 3 stores.
4,
It was 4 stores.
yeah.
Yeah. And they did pretty well.
They did great. That's where I got my Kubicki Factor.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
American music.
Yeah, and we tied it all into a bass that was like the coolest bass in the world for 2 years.
Wow.
And now
It
nobody remembers what it. Yeah, because of Stu Ham and Val Johnson.
Yes, yeah, he had that
happened?
yellow one, that bright yellow one.
Kubicki just stop building? I mean, they're no more.
No, actually, well, Phil Kubicki died.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. See, I didn't even know that.
yeah,
I knew
no.
I went to his shop many times.
Yeah, Phil Kubicki died, but he was originally a Fender
Right.
guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he learned how to do stuff at Fender, and then he went off, did his own thing, and it was kind of like high-end Fender clones, kind of a la Charvel.
Yeah.
And then he came up with his own thing, which was the Factor.
Yep. I remember it.
Yeah, the Factor. There's not one thing on the Kubicki Factor that you could say was average.
That had a unique bridge too.
Yes, really.
Yeah.
It was full. It
Very
was built into the
unique.
body.
Very unique bridge, and you just don't see them anymore. I mean, if I, even at a guitar show, you might see one.
It's
might
like,
see one.
yeah, it's like, I think now a new one's a $5,000-$6,000 bass.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Now I know I told you off camera,
Mhm.
but I can't remember if I told you on camera. This whole Randy Rhoads thing,
Yes.
I found out something that just blows my mind, that Randy Rhoads died on my 12th birthday.
But we're happy to honor Randy at the
Yeah.
Rock Gods. That'll be on the November 9th, second day of the show.
Okay.
It's going to be great. So he's going to get an award, and I actually met his brother Kelly.
Yeah.
One time, super cool guy. The family's just super cool. I mean, he's got an amazing history, and obviously was just a big part of the guitar world. I mean, even to this day, people are still talking about him.
Yeah.
He still influences new players.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
The crazy thing is that, I mean, you can go from, D to Suicide Solution, and it's just like, how in the world is this the same guy?
Yeah.
I could see going from Crazy Train to Diary of a Madman or something like that, but then you throw in these classical things, and it was just like, oh my God,
Yes.
you know.
He was unique.
So I heard that a lot of those Aussie hits were actually Quiet Riot songs.
I mean, actually, could have been. You have to think about, this kid was just a writing machine.
Yeah.
He was a kid, even when he died,
Yeah.
And he was just a writing machine. And Quiet Riot was starting to have some success. So they were like pissed about losing him. I mean, they were losing him, to Ozzy, but he was just writing and practicing and playing. And anybody I know who knew him at that time were like, even at the pinnacle of being with Ozzy, what was he doing every single day?
Yeah.
Practicing.
Right.
Just shredding, just working, just learning, like just,
I didn't know him through musicians. I knew him through Grover Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
And God, those guys that spend all night over there working on things, and I'd show up and show some bridges and things.
Yeah.
But very, very dedicated individual.
Yeah.
And as Grover was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how do you like this? You like that? I mean, the shape of that neck and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads had a lot to do with that, but Grover actually did it. And that's the difference, I think, in the communication between the musician
and the artist
and
the manufacturer.
maker.
Yes.
The guy that can actually get you what you want.
Well,
that's what's great about
important.
Valkenburg. We're directly with the right person. It
Yeah.
makes it that much
It's
simpler.
so very important.
It is.
It can be
is.
done, but you've got to communicate it.
Well,
Direct.
when you're building instruments, I mean, we've done quite a few huge artists just like yourself, and I think we're doing one for Mike Lardy now too.
Yes,
We've got building a guitar for him
Sure.
in Great White, and that's how you become good, right? That's how you become better at your craft, because literally, when I'm working with these artists, they will all come to me and they will say, oh, it could be like this, could be a little better, this could be a little different. I mean, minor things, shaping of a saddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of going through like my endorsee person, I go, give me someone who actually built the guitar. Well, he's downstairs. So I go, who is this guy?
And they've
four guys.
showed me things on guitars we built for them I never would have thought. My best ideas actually come from the artist.
Right.
And when they get the guitar and they play it and they're really happy with it, then you're onto something. Then you're like, okay, we're onto something.
No, a lot of people think, well, certain people are really ingenious. They think of all this stuff. Like a musician has a certain style he plays.
Right.
Man, he's really great. Well, he had to learn all that, as a manufacturer, we got to listen all the time to other people. Employees come up with different ideas.
Yes.
Musicians come up with different ideas. Well, how are we going to make this? How are we going to make that? And like Eddie will come up with ideas, and we try to incorporate those. But we've had engineers work here, like Dave Story and Dave Petchelot.
Yeah.
And great guys, great engineers. So it isn't just a person. It's the whole experience and all the people behind them.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. It's good.
And
My best work came from the artist saying,
that's right.
We almost start at the end. I say, how do you want this to feel? Like, what do you want? And then we literally reverse engineer it to get the product to feel like that.
One of the funnest things that I get to do here, Gary and I have we've developed a bunch of stuff together, is we'll come up with an idea, and then maybe I'll do something very caveman. I'll take it over to a grinder or something and go like this.
I can see you doing that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
very,
I'm
very caveman.
I'm very good at being a caveman.
Yeah, but when he takes it over the grinder, it kind of looks like shit when he comes back.
That's right. So then Gary will make it nice, and then I'll go and I'll install it in a guitar, and I will do everything in the world I can to make it fail.
And then I'll take all credit for it. See,
yeah.
If it's
I'll
good,
sit there and
I
go
take
like
the credit. If it's bad, it's his fault.
Exactly. My resignation will be on your desk in the morning.
That's what Scotty does with my basses. I build him basses and takes them out of the road and makes them fail.
There you go. Well, and then eventually it's bulletproof. But
him and TSA together.
I blame TSA first every time.
Kind of getting back to Randy Rhoads, the story goes, and I'm sure that it'd be easy enough to verify directly from Grover Jackson, the Concorde is why Jackson exists as a brand. Because it was just such an outlandish shape. It was like, I can't put Charvel on this. It's just like the people who like Charvels might not accept this crazy new shape. what do you think about calling it a Jackson? And,
And then it was born.
that is the story that I've heard. But you know what? You
Well-
could actually verify that with Grover.
Yeah, I could.
You should.
What I got to say about that, because I know Wayne Charvel real well.
Right.
And his sons and Grover Jackson and Bernie Rico and all those folks.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason why Grover did that, but I guarantee you that Wayne would have taken the money. So maybe that was it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that was the beginning of, Jackson Guitars.
Yeah, that's the story that I've always heard. And
I'll have to check that out with Grover.
Guitars, I mean, I can, each one of us can attest to it, are addicting.
oh God. Yeah.
Right? Because you really can never have enough.
No.
Yeah.
And
Look at
really,
this,
Yeah.
And no matter what you do to it, there's always the next one.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can modify it, you can hop it up, you can swap out things, you can hot rod it, you can paint it, but there's still going to be something else. It's like eye candy. Like, look at the room, right? So, I mean, how many basses do you have, Scott?
About 15, 16.
About 15,
There
16
you go.
basses. And that includes the stuff you're touring with and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's some odd stuff too.
Yeah.
A lot of acoustics.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, but there's always that different look, that different sound.
Yes. I like a little bit of everything, and from my modulus to my P basses to and everything in between.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's addicting.
Have you ever played that the PV Brian Bromberg, the B Quad 4? It's actually got a modulus neck on it. I have one over there.
Oh wow, no, I haven't. Never played one of those.
Really, really cool bass.
I like those necks. I
So-
played my
so
mod
graphite.
Quantum 5 for
Yeah.
years.
Graphite
Yes,
neck,
yeah. Solid.
no truss
No
rod.
tuning issue ever.
Will not move
The weather
at
doesn't change
all. Will not move, no matter if you go from the driest to the dark. No fret sprout ever.
Yeah.
No nothing. And I think modulus, they've been gone for a while, right?
I think they're back.
What?
From what I hear, yeah.
Oh,
I think they're actually
man.
back.
Yeah, Valkenberg's making a neck where the rod's inside the neck, so that it has a truss rod,
Right.
but outside of the truss rod, it has two rods.
Two
that
stiffening
are
rods.
graphite.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That'll do it.
And we're doing that. I won't even say whose bass we're making that for.
Ah,
You'll find out soon.
I know how that works.
Yes, and we did it as a prototype, and we use steel rods in one and graphite rods in the other.
Yeah.
And they're both just stiff as hell, but the steel neck's going to be a little bit heavier. I mean,
Yeah.
hardly noticeable, but just, like it feels like a regular neck.
Right.
Whereas the one with the graphite rods is just as strong and a little bit lighter.
Mhm.
So if you want a lighter bass, so I think we're going to lean towards using more of the graphite
Yeah.
in the future ones. But we did this as a design for a very famous artist, and he doesn't even have his basses yet, but he'll be getting them very soon.
I think I might know
it's
who
a
you're
bass player,
talking
yeah.
about.
And
Bring him here when he.
okay, yeah.
Danny Bonaducci?
Danny Bonaducci.
There you go.
Have you ever been to a Stu Ham clinic?
No.
So Stu Ham actually tell the story. His clinics are all like we were talking about. Play the hits. His clinic has been the same the entire time.
Yeah.
But same jokes. They're still every bit as funny. But it's like, so growing up, I was a chubby redheaded kid, and Danny Bonaducci was my hero because he was a chubby redheaded kid on TV.
Of course he was.
He was my first bass hero. Seriously.
Was he for real?
First album was a Partridge Family album.
Partridge Family.
Oh
Yeah.
man, point me in the direction of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like, the truth of the matter is that Danny Bonaducci is still a better bass player than I am, because I actually have to move my hand in order to make all those notes happen.
He does it like this.
Yeah,
Yes.
whereas Danny Partridge, man, they
Yeah.
just all come out and he doesn't have to move his hand at all.
Yes.
It's amazing. So, you know what? We can sit here and bullshit all day long, but I am sure that everybody's got things to do. Scotty,
Yes.
let's go play some cool basses, and
Let's do
definitely
that.
you need to come back because
I will
this will
definitely
be
come
so
back, and
awesome.
this is too fun, and this should be something done all the time.